Alrighty guys, we're back for Bant Token Control, and this is a Bloomburrow standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, this is a suggestion over in the Discord. So thank you so much for the suggestion, it's gonna be a fun one. I have a whole bunch of token generation in here, and a whole bunch of things that work well with tokens, like Caretaker's Talent, for example. It's a 3 mana enchantment class. We do have 3 of them in here, by the way. Whenever one or more tokens you control enter, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn, and that includes the opponent's turn as well. And we do have ways to actually drop tokens at instant speed in here, like Virtue of Loyalty, for example, that adventure side. Also, the actual side, the enchantment side of Virtue of Loyalty is going to be a great way to buff a potentially wide board state of tokens. So the middle ability here on Caretaker's Talent, for just 1 white mana, you get this to level 2, and you create a token. That's a copy of target token you control. Okay, for just 1 white mana, seems pretty good, actually. And then at level 3, for 3 and a white, creature tokens you control get +2/+2. And in a build like this, I don't think that's going to be unheard of to activate at all. We also have a 1 of 3 blind mice here, another way to potentially copy target tokens that we control. And what kind of tokens do we usually want to copy? Like, it's great to copy 2/2 Vigilant Knights and whatnot, right? But it's going to be pretty cool to actually copy tokens that we get off of the Doppelgang too. So triple X, green and a blue, sorcery speed for each of X target permanents. That includes the opponent's things if you want to copy those too. Create X tokens that are copies of that permanent. Oh, buddy, this is the top end though, because usually you're going to want X to at least be 2. So we're thinking of it as like an 8 mana card at that point. So if you get some copies of some really cool things and then very cheaply copy those copies with like Caretaker's Talent and stuff, that seems really powerful, man. Now, we actually don't have like too many powerful top-end ETBs to copy with Doppelgang, but don't forget you can also copy lands and stuff too. Speaking of lands, we have so many tapped lands packed in. That's why we're actually opting for 3 Spelunking as well. We do have some caves in the mana base too to potentially gain 4 life off of the Spelunking ability too. And with the top end of Doppelgang, it's not terrible to go ahead and ramp. So we have Ancient Cornucopia in here, also going to gain us some life every now and then. Even if it's just like 1 life a turn, that really does go a long way. I think this is going to be excellent in here. Other ways to generate more tokens on the board, we have a couple Invasion of New Phyrexia to potentially go wide with some more Knights. We do have some, just a couple creatures actually. This is the only creature in the build. Yeah, 2 creatures in here. Dreamdew Entrancer. A 4 mana 3/4 with reach, and when it enters, tap up to 1 target creature and put 3 stun counters on it. If you control that creature, draw 2 cards. So I think this could potentially lock down a very important creature that the opponent has. And 3 stun counters is a lot of stun counters, but every now and then you might just target one of your extra tokens, like a mouse or something, right? Just to restock your hand, draw 2 cards. It's also not a terrible card to copy with the Doppelgang because it's a pretty good ETB ability. We do have other new cards packed in, like for the common good here. Double X in a green, sorcery speed. Create X tokens that are copies of target token you control. Then tokens you control gain indestructible until your next turn. Okay. And then you gain 1 life for each token you control. So guys, X can be 0. For 1 green mana, you gain 1 life for each token you control. I actually think that's going to be pretty darn good in here, but not good enough to warrant like 2 of these, right? I think this is going to be just a 1 of no matter what. Maybe we'll talk more about that in the final thoughts. And that's a similar concept to Season of Weaving, which is also going to be a 1 of. It's the same thing, man. And this is a top end as well. 6 mana is very expensive. Sorcery speed. You get 5 paw marks worth of modes here. So for 1 paw mark, draw a card. For 2 paw marks, choose an artifact or creature you control. Create a token. That's a copy of it. Okay. And then for 3 paw marks, return each non-land, non-token permanent to its owner's hand. Interesting stuff, man. Kind of a board wipe on that bottom mode. Potentially a one-sided board wipe. You have other board wipes packed in because it does say control. We have a couple Sunfalls. Be careful when copying the incubator tokens because when they're transformed, they are 0/0s. So if you don't have those counters on them, they will just pop. We also have all 4 no witnesses because board wipes are going to be very important, and very often you're going to need to drop this right away on turn 4, period, or you're dead, and that's pretty scary about the current standard, huh? Now we do have 3 Case of the Uneaten Feast for more life gain, and since we're dropping a bunch of tokens on the board, hopefully it's a lot of life gain. We have 4 Phantom Interference as a way to counter some early things, but then also if you didn't end up countering anything, maybe you can drop some spirits on the board as well. Okay, guys, over in the mana base, it looks like a mess. Hold on, let me drop these over here so we can see. So the caves that we have packed in: Courtyard, Cataract, Nursery, Sunken Citadel. Okay. Some important lands that we have packed in is actually a 1 of Mountain Port. This is another way to get some more tokens on the board potentially, or sacrifice tokens to restock our hand. We do have 4 Lush Oasis. When it ETBs, deals 1 damage to target opponent. This is going to be a good one to target with the Doppelgang every now and then, especially if you have a couple turns in a row of Doppelgang, then you can really pop off by copying a whole bunch of Oasis and hit the opponent's face that way. Outside of that, we're actually opting for some life gain lands with a couple Blossoming Sands and a couple Tranquil Coves as well. And then to wrap up the mana base, with a couple Restless Anchorage and a couple Restless Prairies. And now you guys can see why I got the 3 Spelunkings in here, which is going to be a very important card. Over in the honorable mentions, guys, there's a bunch of cards that I actually traded out from the original deck list from the Discord. Like Final Showdown was in the original deck list. 3 Steps Ahead, same thing, right? Invasion of Segovia was in the original deck list, as well as Expel the Interlopers. I wanted to put those in the honorable mentions for a good reason. Some other cards that I thought about for the build, it's actually Carrot Cake. I think this is a very interesting card, and you guys seem to like it a lot too. Get Lost, because we actually don't have spot removal packed in. We have ways to deal with cards, but like no actual spot removal. So honorable mention for a good reason. Season of the Burrow was a card I thought about. White Sun's Twilight, as well as Mirex too. Dude, all of these honorable mentions for a very good reason. Whoop, buddy, this one was a tough one to go over. A lot of stuff packed in. Guys, I do my dandiest and sometimes fail to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video. So look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked and see how we do. Right into that first game, guys. What am I expecting from the build? I have no idea. I think as long as we get things on time, which could be tricky sometimes, I think we'll be fine. We go first here. That's a good sign, I would say. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty sure this deck is going to be janky. But if we see things on time, then I really think we can do the thing. I think we have a potential to have an absolutely incredible engine on the board as well. All right, Lush Oasis. Poke the opponent's face down to 19. We better wait to play the plains just in case. Another Lush Oasis. Oh, we won't have double white in this hand right away, guys. All right, I'm going to go for the plains to keep the Phantom Interference open because I think that countering on 2 could be really good for us. Okay. I don't think that's worth the counter, though. Ah, another one. Is the second one worth the counter? No, because we have hopefully no witnesses, but without another white source in hand, we should be a little bit scared, right? Let's see if we have a better target for this Phantom Interference this turn. Oh, we sure do, buddy. Yeah, we'll take care of that. They have an island open. They swing. Nice. They don't have anything to buff the prowess here. Wow, Spelunking. That's pretty good, man. Come on, white source off the top. No. But 4 life is good. That's one of the reasons you want to keep the caves in hand for as long as possible, right? Wow, Ral on 4. Holy cow, dude, that would have been a much better... That would have been a much better counter. All right, so... Of course, the board wipe is ideal, but how long is it going to take to see another white source? The Dreamdew Entrancer is a really good blocker. Getting the invasion down for a couple blockers isn't that great when you have a couple otters, but So I think it's going to be Dreamdew Entrancer, because it blocks a little well against Prowess. I wouldn't mind drawing off of it too, but we got to be careful. Yeah, 3 board wipes in hand that we can't cast because of our mana is pretty sketchy, dude. Maybe this was actually a mulligan hand. Majority of the mana base is white sources, with a couple extra planes packed in.
Think big.
Yeah, they go for the draw 3 ability on the Ral, which is pretty scary, but dude, that card just chilling over there without any threats is pretty scary. Nice, we were able to hold off their attack for the turn, which is huge. However, still no board wipe available. I don't mind seeing more mana here because we have X's 3 then on the Invasion, which we probably want to actually wait. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to swing at that Ral, make them chump. And that's fine. They know that's fine because they have the +1 here, but these don't have haste or anything, which is pretty good. Go X's 3 on the Invasion because literally that's all we have for the turn. We don't want to just play the Case of the Uneaten Feast and then have nothing else available. So getting these down while we can is pretty good. Okay, Path of Peril, restocking their hand. This is gonna be quite the battle, dude. Until we see that other white source, even then, I think it's gonna be a huge uphill battle. Maybe not uphill. This might actually be pretty even. Don't really know. Yeah, they're gonna generate another Otter. Yeah, when the opponent is playing control and they're dropping a lot of tokens like this, it probably becomes a little less scary. I will just go ahead and block with 1. Totally fine. With 2 open, 2 for the Spire as well. Their Ral is going to be completely safe. Yeah, their Ral's terrifying. Yeah, we're going to block. They could give this trample easily, but I'm not too concerned. They looked at our Entrancer like a Witch Stalker Frenzy was about to come down. The Otter Ball, white source, let's go! All right. Is it Sun? Oh, it's Sunfall big time. So first we want to swing though. And it's full swing at Ral. They're going to be blocking no matter what, but that means the Sunfall will be a little weaker too. Maybe they don't end up blocking if I full swing at the Invasion. Like that. Right? Couple at the Invasion. I don't know if having a weaker Sunfall is worth holding back a swing here, you know what I mean? Let's see what ends up happening. So they do end up chumping. They actually have a Witch Stalker Frenzy too for the Entrancer. Okay, which means there's a trade there. So it's a much weaker Sunfall, but it's still a Sunfall, right? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, mana base holding us up a little bit here. So with the Incubator being 4, if I would have wiped everything, it would have been what, like 8? They're still going to get more chump blockers down. They still have the plus on the Ral. Oh yeah, dude, we're in a lot of danger, but no matter what, we have to target this Ral. Well, now, oh, another card that requires a white source is actually really bad, guys. But luckily, we have no witnesses. They do get a clue. We'll power up the Incubator. We got to start swinging at this Ral before they get that -10, which I'm pretty sure.
You'd hurt a cute critter like me?
Draw 3 cards. You get an emblem with instant and sorcery spells you cast have Storm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ral needs to die here. They have so much mana, they're going to go ahead and activate Storm Chaser's talent. They're going to grab Witch Stalker Frenzy. All right. Oh, it's a tapped land. That's good news. Ah, but they get these
Otter, I need some help.
they get these chump blockers. Dude, this Ral is terrifying actually. I'm tempted by this hidden cataract ability. The draw on Spelunking could be pretty good too. As soon as we swing with the Phyrexian, this will actually be 3 mana anyways. I was very happy to see that this was tapped land, but our Phyrexian is actually going to die. So how the heck do we get through, man? I guess the draw on Spelunking for the turn is better than the Cataract because keeping mana on the board is pretty important when we've been seeing what we've been seeing. I tapped one of the white sources. Oh no. We'll only be able to play one case. I could decide not to swing with the 4/4. That doesn't do much for us, though. They could just spend mana next turn instead for the Witchstalker Frenzy, which will tap them down a little bit. Yeah, I guess that might be a little better, make them spend mana on their turn. But that also means that they get the clue for this turn, too. Oh. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know where we're at in this game, actually. I don't know what's going to be good and what's not. So the draw with the Entrancer is a really good draw. It would have been much better to just have in hand already to tap the Otter down, but they still had the Frenzy for 3 once we swung, so. Frenzy, pop the 4/4, so at least they're spending this on their turn, but unfortunately by doing that too, they actually got the Mage down for all 4 of their mana too. So yeah, we're in trouble, man. We really are. Hidden Courtyard, all right. I don't know what I want to do right now. With 4 creatures on the board, it's probably going to have to be board wipe number 3. At least we'll be able to play the other case. When it comes time for the Dreamdew Entrancer, I'm thinking we're going to want to hit ourselves with it. Yeah, we got to do that. They got 4 creatures on the board, man. We're at 14. We still have a lot of board wipes in the build. I'm tempted to tap the Entrancer to itself, draw 2, and we might do that. Ral has been an absolute nightmare this game, guys. Really, really good thing to have on the opponent's board right now. As we just can't break through it. It's currently at 9, too. Alright, we'll play the Blossoming Sands. It comes out untapped anyways. We'll have double white there. Dude, I'm going to tap the Dreamdew Entrancer down because I want to draw 2. We're also gaining 2 here, too. Yeah, call me crazy, but it's land. Oh, no. Okay, we're going to have to start using... We're going to have to start using our caves, I would say. The Ral is now at 10, so they could go -10 and potentially win this turn, too. I would say it would be pretty easy for them, actually. Oh, I guess they're not going minus... Oh, they want to keep the Ral alive.
This is the part where you run away screaming.
And this is a permanent emblem, too. Yeah, I don't know what we could possibly do now. That Ral was a nightmare. Yeah, maybe a potentially mulligan hand here. They actually are rocking Chart a Course as well. All right. Look at the opponent's hand, dude. They have 21 cards remaining. They have officially drawn. Let's see. Almost. 18 more cards. I don't know why I couldn't math that out real quick. Stormcatcher Mentor. Stoke the Flames. They're just gonna hit face 3 times, right? Because of the storm? 4 times. Wait, how many cards did they play? Oh my goodness, man. That's a brutal first game, actually. If we saw more white sources early on, or had I mulliganed, maybe. I'm not convinced. I think that Ral was going to be super hard to deal with no matter what here. We also didn't see too much of our token generation. Everything kind of felt a little bit out of order there, but we were able to stick to it for quite some time as well. Maybe there was a way to take care of that route a little bit sooner. I'm not 100% certain, honestly. All right, opponent, what you bring into the table, buddy? Okay. Do I mind this? No. Blue source on the Citadel. I am a little concerned on the fact that we need multiple white sources when it comes time. Opponent goes first. Lifegain on Case and Cornucopia. Okay, I'm going to keep this. All right. I'm going to start with the Tranquil Cove. That's not a bad land to draw here. Nothing from the opponent for a couple turns now. Get the Prairie down and the Case of the Uneaten Feast. So up against Golgari, I think we actually have a pretty good chance. Sunslayer. All right, let's get that Cornucopia down. Yeah, that's going to be pretty good. I'm going to take out our Case most likely here. That's going to be a problem if we actually see more important enchantments. The discard's probably for the common good, right? Because not doing too much right now. We need more setup. I guess land could have been the discard too. All right. So I'm going to keep Citadel back in case we see Spelunking. Also, wait to see what we can call on Citadel to be most efficient. So Cove can come down. And actually, the second Cornucopia can come down, and we can actually keep the Phantom Interference open with the counterspell. Gain a bit of life. Discard the... Oh, that's really tough, actually. I guess Sunken Citadel. I don't want to keep mana in hand when we have the ramp on the Cornucopia and everything. I hope we have a counterspell this turn. Is that worth it? I guess so. I mean, it's a 4-mana card and we have the mana open right now. We're also gaining 2. This is going to be tough, man. These Planeswalkers really wrecking the build right now. So, might want to keep the planes. I think we're going to draw a lot here. Draw 3 and probably copy a Cornucopia just for even more life gain when it comes time. Could also return everything. That doesn't seem great right now. A little bit of a tempo play. Yeah, we want to restock our hand. And I'll copy a Cornucopia to keep us in this with life gain for a while. Alright, it's a good thing. Well, yeah. Yeah, because I'd rather keep these. I'd rather discard the planes. It's a good thing I did not play that. We're going to get the Restless Anchorage down. Dreamdew Entrancer. Hopefully does a little bit more this game. So they didn't power up a Restless Cottage for the turn. They go ahead, play a 4/4. They gain 4.
You won't be outsmarting me.
Yep, it's going to be the planes. Even though the nursery's tapped, we could still see Spelunking, and all that extra life gain could be pretty good. We have Sunken Citadel. All right, so tapping their creature down could be good. Their Sunslayer probably. Liliana is ready for a -6 next turn, which would be pretty bad. So we do want to swing at that regardless, I would say. So we're going to take the turn for the Sunken Citadel and make sure that we call white on this so it can help power up our Prairie and everything. Prairie gets blocked by the Bailiff. So we're going to make sure we can fly in. And we still have 1, 2, 3. We do have 4, actually. Still, if we want to play the Entrancer. Is that something I want to do? Think about drawing off of it? We're having a really hard time actually getting tokens on these board states. So tapping the Entrancer to itself just to draw 2 doesn't seem that great. But keeping our hand stocked up while we have this extra mana. All right, I talked myself into it. We're also gaining 6 life here. So back up to 24. And yeah, call me crazy. We could tap the Anchorage too, but we might have to keep that Liliana. That's not a great blocker against their board state right now anyways. We're just going to draw 2. Also, stun counter on a land would be pretty darn bad, right? So, yeah. Bandit's Talent. Oh no, because we only have land in hand. I want to keep a Lush Oasis in case we need to copy one to a Doppelgang when it comes time. We're actually going to discard all of it because of the +1 on the Liliana anyways. So I guess it didn't really matter. Sunslayer swinging on in. They want to go for the draw before the discard. That way they have a choice between the two. All right.
Overthink things.
It's going to be mana, which I don't mind seeing. Restless Prairie. Yeah, they wanted to make sure their Liliana was safe. All right, so it's going to be Restless Anchorage. Map token, see what's on top. We desperately need to see like a Doppelgang or something. Another Cornucopia is a little funny, but not worth it. We're sending it. I hope it's not more mana after the fact, but now, again, now we do have the 4 open for the Prairie, but the Bailiff, it's going to be a little bit too much on the Prairie. So yeah, we're just going to swing with the Restless Anchorage. Keep the mana open. And... oh, Terra Sunder. Oh. Luckily that says non-land permanent for the kicker cost. In other words, the Anchorage would have been out of here, dude.
Touch me again.
Alright. I guess we'll use the other map token that we generated this turn too. Case of the Uneaten Feast, not great, man. Yeah, we see we're having trouble with like actually getting the setup through. But the Lifegain is really pulling through here really nicely. They go ahead and level up the Bandit's Talent for the turn. They go full level. Level 3 is... they're going to start drawing extra cards, actually. Oh, yeah, they're going for it, dude.
You won't be
Yep. They're going for it. We need to see something terrific here off the top. Going for the draw, keeping their hand nice and stocked up. These planeswalkers, man. No witnesses. Bro, nice. Good draw. That might keep us in this for a little while longer. So we're going to be gaining 2 for the turn. 1, 2. Yep. We'll still have enough for the Restless Anchorage. Yeah, the problem here is they're drawing so much. They get a clue token here too, which is kind of crazy, man. Maybe we should have started swinging at the opponent's face, but this Liliana, dude, I don't know. I don't know if we should have been swinging at the opponent's face for the last few turns, or... because they would have taken quite a few damage. Phantom Interference. I really want to see a Doppelgang. Maybe we need to go up to 4 Doppelgangs, guys. I think the original deck list in the Discord had all 4. Aclizotes, bro. Hidden Courtyard. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. At what point do we want to start discovering things with Aclizotes on the board? I don't know, man. Maybe it's just like Restless Anchorage. Let's just swing, huh? It's too bad that we have enough mana for the Prairie, but they keep getting these amazing chump blockers down. And technically, even if they didn't have these amazing chump blockers, they had Restless Cottage to power up. Like if they missed a creature for the turn, our Restless Prairie still wouldn't have been able to get through successfully. So Okay, they were looking at their hand there with 1 mana open and the Aclyzotes. They decided to just gotta take it. They're gonna gain it back from the Aclyzotes anyways, is the thought process, I assume. Virtue of Loyalty. I don't know. I guess so. It's 2 cards that we could play next turn. We're getting some life gain on the Cornucopias then. Cornucopia, literally the only reason we're in this right now. They can only power up 1 of the cottages, so technically we should survive the turn. Creature of the Schism. Ooh, buddy. All right. Even more life gain from the opponent here, too. So they're going back up to 22. Without a board wipe, we're in danger, but even after the board wipe, they just power up the cottages. Now they do have enough mana to double down on the cottages, right? Because it cost... No, they don't. They need they would need 10, actually, for 2 cottages. Down to 4. Virtue off the top, as we knew. And the opponent knew, too. We're going to go ahead, do it all. Gain the life, but we are very much dead. And 1, 2... We will not have enough to power up the Anchorage when it comes time. Oh, yes, we will. Yes, we will. Yeah, so we want to tap you for white source. You for white source. At this point, too, I guess we could have looked for a board wipe on these caves as well. Right? The auto tapper I'm just being very cautious with right now. There we go. Because it was about to tap the Restless Anchorage, which we'll need for a blocker next turn. So maybe we can actually survive the turn. Oh, Cornucopia is only once each turn, too. For some reason, I was thinking when we doubled down on that, we were going to gain even more life, too. But no, we're still only at 6 right now. You got to be careful with auto tapper in a complex land deck like this, because, like, the Sunken Citadel taps for 2, so that does give us enough. Creature of the Schism. Power up that Restless Cottage is what I would imagine. They're actually just going for the card draw here instead of trying to push that excess damage through. So playing like the longest of long games. Virtue of Persistence. I suppose if they have a lot of spot removal, then going for the card draw for spot removal also works here then. So even if we power up the Restless Anchorage and block the Aclyzotes, we're still taking 6 regardless. And even if we were only taking 4, we were about to take another 2 from the Bandit's talent too. So, woo, buddy, this deck is hard to run, dude. Bear with me, guys. This is a tough one, and I can't really tell. I can't gauge properly what's a worthwhile move and what isn't. So let's try to get another game. The games have been a little longer too. That's to be expected when playing Control. And the opponents have really brought it to the table so far with tough builds, and the Planeswalkers have been devastating. So that's something to talk about in the final thoughts for sure. Going up something that can more effectively take care of those Planeswalkers. Look, Doppelgang in our hand here too. This is definitely keepable. See if we can do the thing. Yeah, Restless Prairie over Cove, because green source, if we see more untapped stuff in a 3-drop, a lot of our 3-drops are Selesnya, or all of them are actually. Spelunking, all right. So we will keep the Virtue of Loyalty open. So it could have been Cove to have the Phantom Interference, but we might actually get a good block on the Vine Lasher here. Might be a combat trick too, but I'd say it's a worthwhile attempt. It worked. That was really good for us. And the Gecko comes down. And Fireglass Mentor comes down as well. Another Spelunking. Not having this Phantom Interference, I'm regretting a little bit the decision to play the Prairie, for sure. Yeah, the Prairie over the Cove. Let's see, untapped source would have been Spelunking for the turn. Of course, not many untapped sources packed into the list, so it's tough to say. Cut down for the night, they have a good swing. Definitely want to see mana off the top because we're going to need this no witnesses immediately. Corrupted Conviction, actually. They do end up going for it to restock their hand a little bit, so we don't need no witnesses next turn. Alright, Spelunking. Let's see what we draw. Okie dokies. Case of the Uneaten Feast is totally fine. With 4 mana on the board, Doppelgang not doing too much for a little while. 5th mana off the top for Virtue not doing too much either, as we're struggling to actually have creatures on this board. For every game, actually. So final thoughts, we got to talk about even more creature generation, right? Okay, Gev came down, Vine Lasher. Gets a counter. Caretaker's Talent. All right, dude. That's pretty good, but we have to wipe this board, don't we? 4 cards in hand. They probably restock quite nicely. Maybe we wait to try to... Yeah, I don't know about that. No tokens on this board. Card draw on the Spelunking. If we see a land... You know what? I'm going to risk it. Yeah. 26 land in here. We see a land, we'll have Interference open. It wasn't worth the risk. Ah, it's an invasion. That's going to be pretty good next turn. Again, if we see the land, X's 3 is pretty good, but now it's definitely going to be the no witnesses. Especially since, oh, we could easily die here, dude. We could easily die with that Flame Caller on the board. We are dead. Oh no. Guys, 3 losses in a row. Nearly 40 minutes in. These have been really tough battles where the deck just isn't doing anything for us. Should we go one more? Should we go one more? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Pushed it a little over time. The deck has to do something, right? I'm pretty sure that there's enough in here to say, yes, it's gonna do something. And there's so many ways to form a beautiful engine. Oh no, guys, this is a mulligan. Yeah. All right, there's something a little better here. Send a Doppelgang. I don't know, man. We'll see. 26 mana packed in though. We should be able to see what we need to get the Cornucopia down in time. All right. Call blue. Make sure we have all of our sources on the board. Oh, slick shot show off. They're going for Explosion, which gives us a turn. Yeah, it's Cornucopia, right? I think so. Caretaker's Talent isn't great right now on the board. Oh, Convenient Target. Oh, that's fun. So they actually suspect the Heartfire Hero then. And they have another one too. Going down to 11 here, guys. Untap source off the top. We can exile this board. That worth it? Maybe. We also have Caretaker's Talent into Virtue. We have that's a chump blocker on the ground, and then we just die to a Monstrous Rage, right? We'll gain only 1 here, but we draw off the talent. Yeah, no, we have no other option, right? It has to be the Sunfall. Turn 4 Sunfall here. So for 3 mana, they can return this from the grave to their hand. That's what they do too. They're going for it, man. All right, Tranquil Cove. I'll take the life gain for sure. And now we have a turn to do some setup. Caretaker's Talent. And we're going to do the Virtue of Loyalty on their turn because it could be a surprise block into a hasty creature, which is definitely worthwhile. And we still get the card draw too, so. All right, guys. We can pull ourselves back. Wow, the opponent concedes, and it just doesn't feel as good as playing it out. I'll take it, though, man. I'll take any victory. They have been... They've been... tough uphill battles for the last couple of videos especially. So yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. And it was fast enough so we don't have to push it like overtime for the video too. Look, man, we actually got a little bit established there. There's something very important that I want to change like right away. It's that Case of the Uneaten Feast down to 2. I still like it, but we're struggling to like get creatures and things onto the board. So I'm going to drop that feast, and I'm thinking like more to generate more creatures. And actually the Invasion of New Phyrexia, I believe, was a 3 of in the original deck list, and I dropped it to 2, and that might have been a mistake. If we go up the Invasion of New Phyrexia, we're now leaning a little bit more blue than green, but I still think it's okay to have an even split between green and blue in the mana base because we want to see green very often for our turn 3 anyways, right? Because there's no blue on 3. So yeah, I think the even split is still fine. Speaking of the mana base, guys, let's break this down a little bit more. Let's shrink this down, get the mana base over here. When we're looking at it, right? When we're looking at the breakdown, we just have more untapped planes and stuff because we need the untapped planes for the Sunfall and the, well, double white on Virtue of Loyalty too, but the no witnesses because board wipes are so incredibly important right now. So, yeah, having those 6 board wipes, I'm not dropping any of them. I'm not going up any Sunfalls. Like I'm pretty sure we're just going to need the no witnesses on 4 all the time. And you're going to have turn 4 Sunfall every now and then too when you're ramping with the Cornucopia, which was kind of really good today, man. Cornucopia, even when you're just gaining 1 per turn or so, is pretty good, especially when you start getting multiple of these on the board too. So anyways, when we're looking at the split here, and here's our dual land that are Azores colored. Here's our dual land that are Selesnya colored. And then our dual... See, this is why I was trying to make a lot of space here. Because I wanted to break down the mana base a little bit more in this discussion. So there's our Selesnya colored, and then here's our dual land that are Simic colored as well. And then the Sunken Citadel is going to be mana fixing, which is actually just really good, dude. I'm considering 3 of these. And then Fountain Port isn't mana fixing. This could also be like a Mirex or something though too. And it would have been awesome to see Fountain Port today, because also when you're activating abilities on the Fountain Port, that counts for the Sunken Citadel's bottom ability where you can add 2 mana of the chosen color, spend this mana only to activate abilities of land sources. Of course, that helps you activate the Restless Anchorage and the Restless Prairie too, which I thought a couple prairies were actually going to be really good in here because I thought we were going to have a lot more on the board at any given time than we actually did. I thought we were going to be swinging wide a lot more than we actually did. So like going up some 3 blind mice, just when you play it, you actually get more tokens, could be pretty good. I've been struggling with 3 blind mice though. So just something to consider is the fact that if you're already struggling to have stuff on the board, that probably means that the opponents are removing everything anyways. So when you play 3 blind mice and they pop the mouse right away, the next 2 chapters are just going to do nothing if you don't get an actual token onto the board in time, which maybe you can, I don't know, at instant speed, like Virtue of Loyalty, get that night down or something. But yeah, no. What we ended up changing here, which was, I think, very important. I don't like how I ended up arranging that. I dropped a Case of the Uneaten Feast down to 2, and I went up to 3 Invasion of New Phyrexia. Overall, the life gain in here felt pretty good. I actually do like the Dreamdew Entrancer, although I would have liked to see it do more today, other than tap itself down. Again, just one of those things where we were really struggling to actually get tokens on the board, and there were some games where the 26 mana felt like 22, which was a little odd to me, maybe 23, but overall, the 26 mana should be fine and dandy. I don't want to go up to 27 by any means. I think we'll end up flooding a lot more when we do that. And today we still ended up seeing a lot of mana, don't get me wrong. There's just so many games where you just need to see a mana every single turn. And so when you do miss a mana, those are just noteworthy things that stick out. when we do the rearranging for the Phantom Interference. I thought there were going to be more games where we could actually just spend the 4 for the 2/2, but we're just on the run so often that it's like, holy cow, what do we do on this turn now? How do we survive by some miracle? A lot of the games feel like that. I feel like that's one of the things that control players, which I very much am not, are trying to figure out too. What do they run to survive those early turns and then actually successfully control that mid to late game as well? Or start tipping the balance in their favor for the mid to late game. I feel like Phantom Interference is just like, I feel like this is a really good counterspell, but I struggle with counterspells often, and sometimes I spend them too soon, or sometimes I wait too long. I have a trouble finding a good balance with counterspells. Never really liked them. Don't like when the opponents play them. Don't like when I play them, but this is one that I actually do like because it has that option to get creatures onto the board, which is something that I do like. And then those creatures are very important, as we saw. I'll tell you what, man, if you take the turn and you have Phantom Interference open, and you spend 4 mana for a spirit, and you draw off of Caretaker's Talent that turn or something, right? Turn 3, Caretaker's Talent. Turn 4, Interference for a spirit on the opponent's turn. Draw a card. On your turn, play a mana, tap a white source, copy the flyer, draw another card. Ah, man, that's what I mean. Like, there's just so much in here that should technically be generating a terrific engine on our board. This is one that maybe we'll have to revisit at some point. Oh, guys, I forgot to bring it up in the middle of the video, didn't I? But hey, make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. And if you liked the video, drop it a like too, even though we got absolutely obliterated. If you still liked the video, definitely that's a good way to let me know like what kind of deck lists you guys like to see too, right? So some deck lists definitely get a lot more dislikes than others. So yeah, that's a good way for me to see what to play next sometimes. And then also for the YouTube stuff, if you like the channel, make sure you subscribe as well. We are getting really, really close to 4,000 subscribers, which is awesome. Guys, let me know what you thought of the deck list. What else would you take out? Do you guys agree dropping that case, going up an Invasion? I actually really like Invasion of New Phyrexia. I don't exactly, like I said, the original deck list, I'm pretty sure had 3 of them. I tried to make room for some of these really neat new cards. Caretaker's Talent is definitely one that I wanted to make room for. Actually don't have a 4th one of these, and I was going to play 4 of them. I didn't want to craft the 4th one, but now that I didn't, I'm glad I didn't, because I think the 3 of is actually perfect there. Doppelgang. Yeah, we're just on the run so much, where we also didn't see Doppelgang too much today as well, but it's one of those things, man. When you look at this card, and when you play with this card too, we played with it in the past, it's just like, it's so powerful when it does the thing that it's kind of incredible. But I'm not convinced. Like in one of those games, I said maybe we need 4 of them because it seems so important, especially in the mid game, in the mid-range matchups. I'm not convinced by the 4 yet, though. We got 4. What are we dropping? Something else that we're actually using for extra survival, you know? So that's tough, man. That's tough. I know one thing. When I put it up on Aether Hub, definitely putting it up as Jank. And maybe if I remember to, sometimes in the description, I mentioned that it's Jank as well. But overall, pretty fun. I think it could have done a lot more today, which is unfortunate. That means that we need to return to a similar deck list in the future to see if it actually can do more. All right, guys. Hey, enough rambling. If you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.